can't silence the people.
The new law takes effect. It will be a crime to harass a police officer while they're on the job in the state of Florida.
This video was intended to inform and educate the public.
Welcome back to the Junkyard News. In today's video, we're going to talk about a story coming out of Florida, where a new law just passed that goes into effect next year would specifically target First Amendment auditors and cop watchers alike, as it criminalizes harassment of police and first responders on duty.
And once a new law takes effect, it will be a crime to harass a police officer while they're on the job in the state of Florida.
Governor DeSantis says it will protect men and women in uniform, but there are some concerns about the word harass and what that includes.
This new law not only affects police officers and sheriff's deputies, it also impacts any first responders who are harassed out in the field. Senate Bill 184 defines harassment as willfully engaging in conduct that intentionally causes distress and serves no legitimate purpose.
You're making me uncomfortable. I want you to leave.
The bill also makes it a crime to ignore a first responder's warning, to not approach, or to remain 25 feet away.
Now, although that may sound okay on its surface, if you listen to this news clip and the explanation of law enforcement of why this law is important, you will understand the underlying reasons for this new law.
25 foot is a great start. I wish it was 50 or 100 foot.
Hendry County Sheriff Steve Whidden and Lee County Sheriff Carmine Marcino support the law.
While we're looking at a distraction, someone videotaping or harassing a law enforcement officer pursuant to his duties could cost a life.
It's the recording or documenting an officer that opponents of the law are worried about.
I think they don't want to take accountability if anything goes wrong, which we've seen since the turn of the decade, since 2020 George Floyd incident.
This is a direct pushback against cop watchers and First Amendment auditors, and I'm willing to bet that come the first of the year, you're going to see officers try to use this law to go after people who record police in the performance of their duty.
Opponents like Adriana Stanton say that had it not been for a person with a camera, we would never have known how George Floyd died. However, police argue that people with cameras can be distracting to first responders.
We're dealing with people, we're trying to interview people, and we got people walking up right in our faces with phones. This is my right.
In his face! Yes, in the face!
This is my right.
What is someone trying to accomplish? They want to harass. There's no positive outcome that's coming from that.
Those who oppose a 25-foot ban say it could be a violation of the First Amendment.
I think that's the right that we have to record, and I don't think we're doing anything wrong with that.
Sheriff Whidden disagrees.
Okay, it is your right. I get that.
Aha! Aha!
This new law slated to go into effect January of next year.
Now, we all know that cop watching, the act of observing and documenting police activities in public space, is crucial these days. Generally considered a protective form of free speech under the First Amendment in the United States. This right extends to filming, photographing, and documenting police interactions with civilians. However, it is important to note that there can be time, place, and manner restrictions, of course, on filming in certain situations. But overall, cop watching is generally considered a form of free speech and falls within the realm of protected activities under the First Amendment. But we all know that it seems like there at times cops just don't like being recorded. And there are a few reasons why some police officers may not like to have a camera pointed at them at certain times on their job. One is a misconception of privacy concerns. I mean, like anybody else, cops do have a right to privacy in their own homes or in restricted areas of the station, anywhere that's not generally open to the public. And we do know that, like most people, some cops out there do feel uncomfortable, especially if they're being recorded without their consent, or if the recording captures personal information or private conversations. But again, when you're out in public, in the public eye, there is no right to privacy. You want privacy? Go hide in the bathroom or a closet.
Hey, it's really nice in here.
Yeah, see?
I feel really safe. Oh my God.
One of the main reasons we all know that cops don't like being recorded while they're performing their job is fear of scrutiny. Police officers may be concerned about being scrutinized for their actions or decisions while on duty. Recording them can make their actions subject to public scrutiny, which can be stressful, especially if they feel that their actions are being misinterpreted or even taken out of context. After all, we all know video lies, right? No, cops lie. Video doesn't. But of course, there are some officers out there that'll stress safety concerns, because some officers may worry that being recorded could make them a target for retaliation or harassment by individuals who disagree with law enforcement's actions. This concern is particularly relevant in situations where tensions are high or when there is a distrust between the police and the community, which pretty much is rampant all over this country and around the world these days. Another legitimate reason why some law enforcement may not like their actions documented on video is officers can be concerned about the legal implications of being recorded, particularly if the recording is used as evidence against them in a legal proceeding. Take George Floyd. Also, I feel lack of control plays a part. Police officers are trained to maintain control in situations. Some videos you'll see cops immediately tell people, have a seat on the curb or sit down over here. It's a control trigger. They want to feel like they're in control and dominate the suspect that they are talking to. If they're being recorded, they may feel that they cannot control how the recording will be used also or distributed, which can be unsettling. It is important to note that while some officers may be uncomfortable with being recorded, others do understand and respect the rights of people to do so. I've come across many officers that, you know what? You want to film? Go ahead. I'm going to make my department look good. While others, don't record me. We've seen it. Many police departments now have policies in place regarding citizens' recording of police activities, and some officers are trained to handle being recorded professionally and calmly. However, conflicts can still arise when individuals assert their right to record in situations where officers are not familiar with or do not fully understand the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. Now remember, in general, there's been a lot of circuits, a lot of federal courts have consistently held that recording police officers performing their duties in public space is protected by the First Amendment as long as the recording does not interfere with the officer's duties, and this protection extends to both audio and video recordings. Some key cases that are outside the 11th Judicial Circuit that have influenced this issue do include Glick versus Cuniff. First Circuit Court of Appeals back in 2011 ruled that citizens have a First Amendment right to record police officers performing their duties in public, and that arresting individuals solely for recording police violated those individuals' constitutional rights. I can't wait for the day that this law gets enacted, and I'm dying to see which YouTuber is going to be the first to be charged with this when they're out recording. And who knows, it may be your chance to live forever in case law for the First Amendment. Thank you again for watching the Junkyard News.
Alright guys, so watch this.
Can't silence the people.